Greetings once again, brothers and sisters. I know it's been a minute. I said 5:15, it's 5:30. But we are definitely back, guys. And of course, I'm gonna get through that vibrations. Of course, this is the continuation of that of prospering, brothers and sisters. Prosperity, or the wanting of prosperity for all Dominicans, not just some, but for all. And we're going to be continuing with the press conference of none other than the United Workers Party and, of course, leader Dr. Thomson Fontaine, guys. We're going to get into that vibrations. I think it's vital for us to understand where we can go in the future. What is the possibility right there? And a number of persons have been asking me, but Mr. Leaks, what is the other side pushing? What are they pushing? And like I indicated before in the last one, I actually had a podcast with a number of them, and it's very clear exactly what they're pushing: prosperity for all Dominicans, not just some. And when I'm sure when they mean prosperity for all Dominicans, meaning the availability of prosperity will be there for individuals who want it, who are willing to work hard, and of course want betterment for themselves and the family. Of course, we know what is taking place right now in Dominica doesn't seem to be the viable option for individuals to even create generational wealth. And I don't think that is a good thing, especially for the young generation coming up wanting families. I know right now in Dominica, it doesn't look like people want to have families, not on the basis of them not wanting family, but they most likely don't see it as there is a possibility of them, having the funds necessary to take care of the family. And of course, the structure of that is very much disturbing, especially when we don't have the right set of markets, we don't have the right set of people, we have incompetent people in right positions, brothers and sisters, doing the very much wrong thing right there. And I don't think this is a good thing at all when it comes on to, the elevation standing of Dominica. So, of course, we're going to continue on that vibrations right there, guys. Of course, let me just set this stuff up. I know a number of you guys might not be there when I'm doing this one because you guys tend to come a bit later on. But still, the video will always be there for you guys to see at a later date. But, of course, let me see how many. Hold on. Let me just set this stuff up so then I can go back to see the individuals who are in the building right now, guys. Of course, there are 6 of you guys in the building. Let me know where you guys are watching from. As usual, guys, I think that is very much vital so that others can actually see that is not just one set or one particular area that we actually are, but we are across the world. There are individuals from Africa watching these videos. So Africa, Russia. I'm not sure for Ukraine yet, though. I'm not sure for Ukraine yet, but I do know there are individuals in Russia, China, Japan, different parts of Africa, Australia for sure, South America definitely, Central America, yeah, even Mexico. I met an individual who actually watches my video. He came to Dominica sometime last year, and he indicated that he watched my video. So big up to all the Mexican individuals who watch my videos. Big up all yourself one time. And people in the United States most likely. But yes, guys. So as usual, I'm going to stay for like 10 minutes before I start. And of course, hopefully we get a number of individuals to come in to join and see what's up here. Let me just share this on my other stuff, guys. Of course, you can share it as well. I would appreciate you guys sharing it so that others can know as well. It's very... Hold on, let me... Where do you go to get this thing? I think I have to go back. Okay, that's not a problem. But yes, guys, let me know in the live chat where you guys are watching from. And of course, guys, don't forget, if you want to show some sort of support, you can definitely do so by sending super chats in and, of course, leaving a message. That, of course, will pop up on the screen so that individuals can definitely get to see what you have to say as well. And, of course, that inadvertently then shows some sort of support when it comes on to what we tend to do here. Most of the stuff that we tend to do here is for free, guys. So if you're showing some sort of support, that's a tongue twister right there. Even though I speak fast sometimes, it's crazy. Some sort of support, it'll definitely go far when it comes on to what we tend to do on this here vibe. So definitely send some super chats, or if you want to leave a comment or something of that sort, I would appreciate that right there. I'll be definitely seeing that throughout the reaction, the live interaction reaction today. So yeah, guys, definitely do so. Let me share this because I stated that I will definitely share it on the video. Okay, let me do that. All right. Big up to all the individuals who already commented on the Mr. Licks Reacts channel for today, the video for today. Yeah, somebody actually indicated on the video, tell Wesley people to stay quiet. Well, apparently Wesley people are staying quiet because it's a very sad state of affairs that is happening in Wesley. One of the things that we talked about on the Mr. Licks Reacts channel today, guys, was on the basis of, are they going to be, we talk about Dominica being an agricultural nation, are they going to be putting the agro-processing plants that they are breaking down in Wesley, are they going to be putting it in the places where people are relocating? What's going to stand in that regard? Will that be a thing of the past? I think Dominica is an agricultural nation and should be definitely promoted as such. Let me just post this stuff right there. Okay, post up, pin. Okay, how long we have remaining? We have about 4 minutes, guys. So we're just gonna make a number of persons come in, and of course, smiling jigsaw puzzle. I'm not sure. New Brunswick, Canada. Big up the Canadian massive, man. I need to come back to Canada. You know, I like Canada. I'm not gonna lie. Canada is pretty nice, right there. But big up the New Brunswick massive in Canada right there. I was in Toronto. There's a place, I forget where I was in Toronto, you know. I forget. But I was definitely in Toronto in 2023, I think. Yeah, 2023 I was in Toronto, guys. And you know, it was pretty nice, no doubt about it. I spent like about a week and a half there, and then I flew back into the United States. And then I flew down to Dominica for the festival right there. So big up Smiling Jigsaw Puzzle. That's an interesting name right there. I appreciate you for being in this year live interaction reaction. Of course, if there are more people on this year live interaction, let me know where you guys are watching from. I know a number of you guys tend to tell me where you guys are watching from in the comments, but now we are in the live chat, so you can definitely leave a message in the live chat right there, guys. And of course, I think let me see what they're gonna. Okay, I think I know what they're going to. I think I also need to set up a playlist for this thing because, you know, I have the podcast. I think the podcast is a bit different from these live interactions. Okay, yep. Yep. So subscriber mode has been turned on. So guys, you know, if you're in here and haven't subscribed, you will not be able to participate in the live chat. You have to subscribe so you can participate in the live chat right there. There are 12 of you guys in the building. I appreciate you guys. 13 of you guys. Woohoo! You get in somewhere. There are 13 of you guys in the building. Click the like button for me, please, guys. That, of course, help to push the videos further and further out there. Let me also post this thing in my my WhatsApp so that people can actually know that I'm on. Sometimes people tend to come Dominican time. We always look at the Dominican time for us to show up right there, but it is what it is. Let me just post this stuff and then we can continue. All right, where you guys watching from? Jigsaw is watching from Canada. And one of the reasons why I kind of like want to do these things a bit earlier, because I know in certain places around the world, people are actually, you know, there's different time zones. That's the sad part of it. So there's different time zones. Sometimes when I start around 8 o'clock, people need to go to work tomorrow, so they're already sleeping at 11 p.m., you know, so that's probably one of the reasons why I want to do these things a bit earlier, and then leave the rest for the individuals who want to come after or a bit later, or most likely tomorrow, so they can definitely get to see what is being stated right there. I know a number of you guys appreciate my concise when it comes on to the live interaction reaction, and of course I want to hear what you guys have to say as well on that. Okay, let me just post this thing there. Yes, sir. Okay, guys. Is it time yet? Is it time yet? Okay, it's time, guys. Let us get into the vibrations right there. This is most likely a continuation of what I did on Sunday. Like I indicated to you guys, I will definitely be doing the remainder of it because I noticed there's quite a number of interesting questions being asked, and I think most likely, you know, you guys would like to hear my concise on it as well. So let us get into it. Should I bring it back a little? Let me see. Let me put this thing there so it doesn't overlap. Okay, hold on. So it doesn't overlap. I'll have to do this. Okay. Yes, guys. So don't forget to leave your thoughts and comments in the live chat, or after this video, leave it in the comment box below. Anyways, guys, let's get into it.
And
right
given
now.
by the time
Let me just bring it back a little, guys. What is going on?
For the press conference of the United Workers' Party. At this point in time, I will call...
Big up Susu.
makes sense that this
Okay.
all right.
So
thank
this
you
was on the international airport.
for these very good questions. On the international airport, my understanding is that it is being built, but I suspect it will not be finished by the time of a change of government. In which case, I want to give the people of Dominica our solemn promise that we will complete the international airport. Because we believe it is an important part of our tourism promotion and what we are promoting. And given the tens of millions of dollars already invested in this program, it makes sense that this project be completed.
Guys, you know what I would do? Personally, if I was Thomson and I came in knowing all the monies that was spent, I would try my best to figure out a way to try to get back some of that monies before I continue doing the international airport. I would more focus on, I'll put it on the back burner, the international airport on the back burner, and focus more on agriculture and these things where we can actually have monies coming in. And as more monies coming in, then we can then focus on the international airport. That's what I would have done in that regard right there. I'm guessing that's most likely his thought process on it when he just indicated that they will finish the international airport, which of course I think would be a good thing for Dominica when it comes down to international travel, because apparently Dominica is the only country in the Caribbean that doesn't have an international airport. Barbuda has an international airport, man. Barbuda. Antigua, smaller than Dominica. Barbuda has an international airport. That should tell you something.
But I know it's running into problems of, cost overruns already and all the rest of the issues.
Exactly why I said that we should more focus on agriculture, and then as the money is coming in, that's not gonna happen overnight. That will probably take like a year and a half, 2 years to actually get settled before we can actually see something even flowing in. Because you have to set it, you have to set the factories, you have to do all set things in motion, get the markets, all these kind of things. It's not gonna happen overnight. It'll take some time. And then when things start happening, then we can roll in and start doing more thing. I would more focus on the airport, probably the extension of the airport or something. I think something is wrong with the extension of the airport. I don't know if it was not done properly or something, but it is what it is, guys. You have an incompetent government. We need some competence, and this is why I have my faith in none other than Dr. Thomson Fontaine. Until they give me a reason not to have faith in them, then I definitely support them in that regard right there. Let's see. Jerry Nelson, big up yourself. Big up one time for tuning in yet again. Mr. Lix, you're early, just trolling my phone. Yeah, I'm early, man. I'm early. I have to do some stuff a bit later on. So I definitely drop in this right after I did the live the reaction on Mr. Lix React. So yeah, welcome Jerry Nelson. I appreciate you for being here on that vibe.
But I can guarantee you, when we get into office, we will ensure that this international airport is completed. That's a project, of course, we will embrace. With regards to the CBI,
remember, guys, for you to understand why he's saying it's a guarantee, because I always ask that question. I say, how can you guarantee this? But of course, he gave his 10 steps of bringing prosperity to Dominica, which of course touched on a number of things, including that of agriculture and of course the digital economy. I must give kudos to those two because I know these are very much, what Dominica needs right there.
I wanted to ensure that we build a vision that is not based on something that is on its way out.
CBI.
There is a natural end that will come to the CBI program. And it is clear that it will not last forever. And I say that because countries that are more developed than Dominica, in Europe, for example, I think of Malta, of Greece, of Bulgaria, countries that had those programs have all been shutting down their programs. And for good reason.
Because the countries that would have given them visa-free access have restricted or removed visa-free access on them. So the same thing is happening to Dominica and some of the other Caribbean islands when it comes on to European Union, which of course I always blame Skerrit for doing. I blame Skerrit 100% for that. Because another indication of that is when the United Kingdom stated that they were going to be shutting down the visa-free access from the Caribbean islands involved in CBI, the only country they shut down was Dominica. They stated they were going to be shutting down all the others, all the other four, I should say, because 5 countries. The only place they shut down was Dominica, because Dominica was the one highly involved in all sorts of things, even though Prime Minister will come and say, oh, Dominica has the most robust due diligence process. Unfortunately, Dominica has the most criminals that have obtained our passports and our diplomatic passports. So that should tell you something right there.
Shutting down the programs because of the pressure that they have come under, in particular from the European Union and others. And they've had to forgo billions and billions of dollars that had propped up their economies. So I suspect that this same thing is going to come to us. Already we are at a stage where we have almost as many holders of Dominican passports under this program as their natural-born Dominicans.
I think the last time they checked, it was 32,000. I think that was in 2023. And I think it has risen to a 40 or 50, maybe 50,000, guys. Dominica's population is about 65,000. It is no longer 72,000 like they want you to believe. You can check Worldometer and you will see. Worldometer will tell you that Dominica's population is not 72,000, it's 65,000 and decreasing. Catherine, big up yourself, Catherine Fontaine. I see your cousin. I'm reacting to your cousin yet again. So Catherine saying answer to I'm guessing you got the answer to your question. Let me know your thoughts in that regard. There's 15 of you guys in the building. Click the thumbs up button for me, please. I would appreciate that. No doubt about it. Let's continue.
So that is also a cause of concern. So it tells me that at some point this program is going to come to an end. So it makes sense that any plan, any vision for Dominica should consider the CBI not as a central part of that vision, but as bring it in at the point where it can contribute. So it's not that we're not interested in the CBI program, but we do believe that it has probably it is coming very soon to its conclusion. But we are firm in the belief that if we develop our water industries, if we develop our agriculture,
I love that. Develop the water industry. Because one of the things I never understood, brothers and sisters, is how on earth Dominica is considered the water nation of the Caribbean. 365 rivers. And Dominica only has one bottle of water that it can call its own. We have Trinidadian water here, we have Jamaican water here, we have Antigua water here, we have St. Vincent water here, we have water from the United States here in Dominica. Back in the day, we had Chinese water here, brothers and sisters. And there's even a Chinese company that was trying to have a Dominica water, and I think the government was like, no, you can't do this. So they had to sell it over to the local. But then I'm asking, where is that water, They were even advertising the water on the radio station. Yes. Chinese were advertising their water that they make in Dominica on the radio stations. Really and truly,
Tourism our manufacturing sectors, we will have no need for a CBI program.
Facts.
Because these monies will be generated, will be going directly into the pockets of the Dominican public.
And that's how it should be. Jacqueline, big up yourself one time. Jacqueline Francis, respect to you. Great job. I appreciate the love and support right there. Of course, guys, there's 16 of you guys in the building. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button for me. I would appreciate that in that regard as well. Also, guys, if you want to leave a super chat, you can definitely do so. Of course, I would appreciate a helping to push and support the channel financially as well. Let's continue.
Every single person will be sharing, because you will notice that we have generated millions of dollars in the CBI program.
Billions, not millions, billions.
But how many Dominicans can boast of having received a cool out from this?
You know, Send Kids receiving the cool out from Send Kids CBI program. It's unfortunate because Dominica has more sales than Send Kids, and Dominicans only receiving part of the CBI wealth in Send Kids from the Send Kids CBI program, not the Dominican CBI program, you know, guys. You know why that is? Because, like I indicated some time back, brothers and sisters, we found out that only 25% was actually reported to the Dominican people when it comes on to the sale of passports. 25% was reported to the Dominican people, which means that 75% is out there doing God knows what. And you think the government works for you? Okay.
How many Dominicans can boast of having received a few dollars directly from the CBI? But if we focus on tourism, on agriculture, on manufacturing, that is money that will go directly
to the
into the pockets of every single Dominican.
And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. That's how you create generational wealth. Then we can even look into insurance, things like whole life insurance and index life insurance to help further build generation upon generational wealth. That's how the rich does it. Why is Dominican excuse why he cannot do it? We have an incompetent person in position trying to maintain power because they're trying to maintain power for themselves, not for the people. They're giving you houses because they destroyed your ability for you to make your own house, and you're there, yay, labor, really. I mean, sometimes we have to think, brothers and sisters, we have to think logically about certain things. Let me see, Jerry Nelson make a comment. That's a fact. That's a fact. a lot of wanted people have our passports. Yes, a lot of them. Actually had a list of 50 something, and that's just those and that's out of the 25% that we knew, brothers and sisters. There were people doing OCCRP. There's another report I saw that I think I need to bring to our attention, brothers and sisters, because there's this. Let me see if I can show it to you guys. Let me show it to you guys right there. Before I continue, there's this interesting thing right there, guys. Hopefully you guys can see it. Okay, you guys can see it. This is it. This is what I'm talking about right there, guys. This thing. Oh, no, you guys you still can't see it yet. No, that's the wrong thing. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about right there, guys. Electoral Commission contracts Belgian company in modernization efforts. You see, hey, what's wrong with that now? What's wrong with that? Well, let me show you. There's a huge problem because of the OCCRP. The OCCRP. This is the same company right there, guys. Inside, this is the same company, brothers and sisters, Simlex. And they are somehow involved in some sort of corrupt business. We're gonna get into that. Don't doubt about it. We're gonna get into that. I'll most likely do that tomorrow or the day after, right there. But let's continue. Let's continue because highway corruption is taking place, and the people who doing corruption are going after more people doing corruption. What kind of magic is that now? What kind of insanity is that, brothers and sisters? Anyways, let's continue.
And here is where the prosperity begins. Here is where being able to meet your bills, take care of your family, and feel proud to be a Dominican.
Independency
begins to happen.
I see Jerry Nelson make another comment right there. We once used to ship water to St. Martin. Yeah, I worked on that boat at the same time, early years on the PM Charles. That should tell you guys something. Now, Dominica used to have 2 waters back in the day. You would think maybe we have about 30 or 40 different brands of water in Dominica, or at least 100, you know, but I don't go too far. I say 30 and 40. Dominica, 1, brothers and sisters, 1. And we have more water outside of Dominica inside Dominica?
Dr. Fontaine, in 2024, you addressed the United Progressive Party of Antigua's conference. Now, what is the difference from Liam?
Are you guys hearing? Are you guys hearing? If you're not hearing, let me know.
Coming to speak to the Labour Party in Dominica. She being the current chair of CARICOM does not take from the fact that she is a leader of a political party. I wanted to address that. Also, you spoke about a unified opposition, but yet still there seem to be infighting within the ranks and file of the political party. You assume the post of political leader of the UWP for second time, gaining the popular votes. Yet it appears that some persons in the party are not happy and are bent on undermining you. How long do you intend to stay in such an organization that is not appreciative of you?
I'm going to start with that last question first. It's an easy one.
Carla, it does freak me out, you know.
You know, Carla, let me assure you that I'm in this not for myself. I'm in this struggle for the people of Dominica. I'm in this struggle because I believe that with a group of persons like myself who are committed to this country, who have sacrificed over many, many years. Look at our deputy political leader, a man who has sacrificed his youth
Hector.
for Dominica. They're all standing strong. They're all embracing my leadership. And we're all moving forward together. So it's not so much about me. And there is no question of living or moving away. If anything, my resolve is strengthened. If anything, I am more encouraged today than I was yesterday. And I'll be more encouraged tomorrow than I am today to continue to fight for those pillars that we spoke about. Because I can see in my view, I can see exactly where this country can get to.
Me too.
And I understand that the challenges, the infighting as you refer to it, the struggles that we have had to go through, that is all part of the process. You know, when iron is being proven, it's going through the fire, you know, it is heated, it is melted, it is shaped. That's exactly what is happening to us as a party. Yes. To ensure that at the end of the day, we're well positioned to be able to live this country.
That was a good answer right there. That was a very good answer right there. I see Natalie is in the building. Natalie Simon, big up yourself as well for tuning in, watching from Girodel. Dominica Massive, you don't know, stay easy. 1 to 10 right there. MFA Scully. Big up the Scully crew, I guess. The Scully crew. I don't know. I just say what I want right there. But of course, MFA Scully, the sound is okay. Okay, great. Because I know the microphone can be far from the individuals asking the question. So if it's good, I'm hearing it clearly on my stuff, but I'm, you know, concerned on that. But thanks for letting me know that the sound is okay.
So in the midst of all of this, we are building character. We are building leaders so that if, God forbid, something happens to me, another person will carry on with it. And that is what this is all about. It's not about Thomson Fontaine, but it's about a United Workers' Party, Team Dominica, and a unified opposition that is determined to make change in this country.
You know, one of the things that I never understood, brothers and sisters, is when they put Paris in. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Paris has a lot of leadership qualities, no doubt about it. But they put Paris in to challenge Thomson Fontaine. They put him in to challenge for leadership of the United Workers' Party. And I'm thinking to myself, don't these guys realize that Thomson has helped many countries? Why on earth would you want to do that? Why on earth would you want to do that in the first place, bro? Why? I never understood that thought process. But I realized there's some sort of tribalism that might be taking place, you know. But hopefully, like he indicated before, hopefully these things get ironed out. And of course, that's a good thing to have this thing, because people don't feel like, you know, it's my party or it's supposed to be their party and my tribe party. No. I don't think that should be. But of course, that will also help in ironing out and then making a better resolve for the future, right? As opposed to the DLP that seems to have a what do you call that, a dictatorship in their selections right there. So
Now, with regard to Miss Mia Mottley, my concern about Miss Mia Mottley coming to Dominica is that she wears the hat of the chairperson of CARICOM.
Yep.
And she did not come to Dominica simply as the leader of the Barbados Labour Party. She came to Dominica wearing the hat of the leader of CARICOM. A leader who, by the way, would have had to make decisions such as bringing in RSS troops.
And it's supposed to be on a neutral playing field, not just because they say this or they say that. It's supposed to be neutral.
The Prime Minister told her that we were under threat. This also is a Prime Minister who unrepentantly took over Ross University, literally put in a bag and carried over to Barbados 30% of Dominica's gross domestic product of our economy.
30 to 40%, direct and indirect.
Taking away scores and scores of lives and livelihoods in the process.
I mean, how do you lose all these jobs, man? You lost Ross 30 to 40% GDP factor of Dominica. Plus all the other little jobs are wrong, little, mid, whatever. Ross was big, so I consider Ross a big one. And then you have the other jobs in society that closed down as well. Employing 10, 20, 30, 40 people, 100 people. They closed down. And people still supporting the people that causing these businesses to close down because these people who are incompetent in taking care of the economy. And we have an economist, a doctor in economy. A doctor in economy we have here that can literally put things in place to help the economy. He has done so in other countries. The reason why St. Kitts is the way it is because of this man. A lot of advice that he gave to them. And you mean to tell me we have it in Dominica, one of Dominica's very own, and people want to fight on that and say, no, let's not choose him, let's choose Scarrett. Bro, are you, bro? Yo, that's crazy right there. Jane Warrington, big up yourself. New Jersey's in the building. I appreciate you for tuning in. Jerry Nelson is also stating that he's hearing. Okay, great. Let's continue.
Saddling house owners, the hundreds and scores of Dominicans who invested in the Picard estate now have loans that they're not able to pay, jeopardizing our banking system because those loans are there, languishing, and the houses obviously cannot be resold.
Now, brothers and sisters, something I never pointed out right there. When Ross was in Dominica and Ross money was in the National Bank and other banks across Dominica, brothers and sisters, when they gave loans, Ross would facilitate in providing monies towards the bank in the payment of these loans through taxation and these kind of things there. But since Ross is not there, that burden then falls on the very people who have their money in the bank. Like I indicated some time back, brothers and sisters, when the government goes to the National Bank to take a loan, it is taking your money. And then when the government has to pay back these loans, it pays back these loans through tax and fees being collected. And it's being collected from you. So inadvertently, you are literally paying back the loan that somebody took on your money. That's what is happening. So it's very sad that Ross had to leave. They didn't want to go. No, they didn't. I know they didn't want to go. But the government kind of forced them to go. Because the government did not do a number of things needed to keep Ross. Especially in the hard times that Dominica was facing. You would think that they would try to keep the 30 to 40% GDP factor of Dominica. No. Another reason why is because it's a US affiliated school. I wouldn't say much on that. Let me just leave that there. Let's continue.
So it's in that context we have to view her. She's not just another prime minister. When I went to Antigua on the invitation of the UPP, I went there as a fellow leader addressing a fellow community. This was not a national rally. This rally was a Labour Party affair, and I felt that as the Prime Minister and as the leader of CARICOM, she should have abstained from coming into Dominica.
He's right. He's right on that. It's not a national rally. A national rally would mean, that it's for the nation. it's for the nation. Whereas the DLP rally literally was for DLP people. It was set with the pretense, or not the pretense, it was set with the understanding that it was for Dominican Labour Party supporters, not the country. She's the chairperson and she should not have been there in the first place.
But she came, and we're happy she came because she spoke truth to power.
Well, apparently the Labourites, they were not listening. I mean, I was listening. Literally, people were telling me, hey, don't talk to him, make him listen. But apparently I should be telling them to listen because apparently they wasn't listening. Can you imagine Labourites meeting me, telling me that they want me to listen to what is happening on the stage so that I will become aware of this newfound thing that I did not know before? They want me to listen. But the people on the stage, especially me and Mottley, was agreeing with my stance. And they want me to listen while they themselves pretending to listen because what they were saying on the stage was literally what I've been saying all along. If you listen to the vlog, brothers and sisters, you hear me saying amen or you hear me saying facts. I saying that is facts. Why is she talking on the stage? And I'm wondering if Labourites were listening. Because the very thing she was saying was contradicting the Labour Party stance on what it has done. Nobody says, Because what the Labour Party says is completely contrary to what they do. Tell me I lie. Let's continue.
She made it very clear to the Prime Minister that it is not acceptable that he should keep taking away jobs from the people of Dominica. Yep. So in that sense, what was probably meant for another purpose turned out good. And I hope the Prime Minister...
But she still should not have been there. As the chairperson, she should not have been there.
Got the message that was sent clearly from the Prime Minister of Barbados that things are not right in Dominica and that he needs to do better.
Well, these people, these people just wasn't listening at all. Telling me to listen. Make him listen. Don't talk to him. Make him listen. And the person on the stage agreed with what I say. All the time. That's crazy.
An executive meeting over the weekend last week, and Dr. John was appointed as your deputy. A few other persons of news. Can you please tell us about them? Also, you spoke again of a unified opposition, and you spoke about your 10-pillar plan that if elected to government, and if in inverted commas, would you be in a position to tell the Dominican populace which are the seats that you would be able to take to form a government whenever the elections are
all 21?
I agree. I agree. Kalai, what kind of ridiculous question is that? What kind of ridiculous question is that, Kalai? You're asking him on which seats he going to take as if he would know all 21. I agree. Although I don't agree with all 21. No, brothers and sisters. If the United Workers' Party could take all 21 seats, we need opposition. We need opposition. We don't need all 21 seats. We need majority seats, no doubt about it. But there's no way on earth I will be comfortable saying United Workers' Party has all the seats. I mean, it might look nice on paper, especially if they're doing things to actually elevate the country, but we still need opposition. Remember, I said we don't have United Workers' Party, but I'm saying we still need opposition. Give them 5 or 6 seats. Let them go with the free seats, like they do United Workers' Party right there, on the free and fair playing field. But of course, like I indicated before, it will take the outside voters that the Prime Minister, them, and whoever are bringing in. It will take the outside voters to ensure that this carried regime loses. The same thing happened in St. Kitts. They were bringing in people to vote, and these people voted opposite of who brought them in to vote. Dominicans is not a difficult thing. Dominicans in Dominican, Dominicans overseas is not a difficult thing, no? They bring you in to vote. Whether they bring you in to vote for them or not, Vote against them so we can finally have some sort of solace to give Thomson, Fontaine, an economist, a chance to actually do something. That is what I think needs to be done. Catherine is saying, no lies, I watched it myself. Indeed, indubitably.
And I say that not in jest. I say that because I do believe that the people of Dominica, after 25 years of labor, are fed up.
But like I stated before, the government knows this. We all know this. Majority of Dominica wants change. The problem I have with Dominicans is, one, the Dominicans know that there's a problem, and some of them checking, why not going to vote? Scary going to win, so I'm not voting. Thousands of Dominicans are literally saying this. Thousands. So if they realize, but wait a while, maybe I should actually go and vote. And then the people from overseas who come in saying, but you know, Dominica is a mess. Every time I come in, I have to be guaying, I have to be sleeping on couch and all kind of things, when I can just go in a nice hotel if there's competition and this kind of things. All this. I just vex, you know. Guys, if the overseas people come in and decide, you know what, enough is enough. When scared bring them in, or whoever brings them in, comes in and they say enough is enough, they vote against the present regime, then we can finally have some sort of solace.
You know, and I think people are beginning to, their eyes are beginning to open up to the realities.
I think their eyes were open long time, you know, Thomson. I think the people's eyes have been open for quite some time. It's just that, one, some of them wicked, so they just don't care to actually make a change. And two, the Dominicans want change. They're not voting, and the overseas people come in and tilt the scale on their behalf.
That is not so much about a party, but about leaders who can deliver.
Facts.
The Labour Party has not delivered for them. It is quite clear. And let me give you...
That's a fact. That's a fact. Providing housing for people while not giving the people the ability to have jobs, proper jobs, to create career paths, so they can actually have a family and have some level of sustainability. The present government has not done this. Giving people houses while you destroy the economy so that they can be dependent on you to give them house that they cannot pass on to their family members. That's a big joke.
Examples of this. Look at Granby. Granby has supported the Dominican Labour Party for many, many years. It took a United Workers' Party government to build a secondary school in Granby.
Nothing DLP do for Granby, no? What the Dominican Labour Party has done for Granby, I cannot understand that. You supporting people that are doing nothing for you, and you staying consistent in your support of them. Really? And then they're going after, because some of all you trying to plant a marijuana somewhere in the bush, and they're going after all you and taking all your marijuana and probably selling it themselves.
And a few days ago, I was chatting to a young lady from Granby, and she says, well, we don't really favor the Workers' Party because they gave us a high school and they did not put all the wings on it. I said, but...
What has the DLP done for you guys? You mean to tell me somebody give you a high school that you have been in, your children going to high school in Granby instead of going somewhere else, because they don't put on some other wing on it that the DLP could have done for you guys if they care about you? That's what you want, but apparently not. They do nothing for you, and all you still supporting them.
Yeah, and in 25 years, your Labour Party could not put the additional wing that was missing. Really? But we built it for you in 4.5 years. Correct. Why is it that over 25 years, no improvements, no additions, no nothing?
Nothing, no.
And yet still you're complaining. So I think people understand that the Labour Party is not in the best interest of the people of Dominica. And even where they pretend to have strongholds, just take a walk. I mean, I can't pass by the Granby bus stop without being stopped and say, when are you coming to Granby? You need to come up and talk to our people. You know, it is clear to me that the Labour Party supporters in Dominica are fed up, and they're looking increasingly to us in the opposition to bring that change to Dominica.
But I also think, come to think of it, understanding how, well, based off the videos that I saw of Granby people, it seems like they only want somebody there, because you cannot tell me you're in that misery for so long. They're not doing nothing for you. For 25 years, they're not doing nothing for you, but you're supporting them consistently. By a wide margin, too, you know. By a wide margin. You supporting these people consistently. These people are doing nothing for you. You keep supporting them. And for what measure? What measure? I don't know. I'm trying my best to think of a possibility. Nothing. Except they probably want an opposition so that the government will come and try to do things for them because there's an opposition with the fear that they might turn against them so they might get something in return and then still continue to vote for the DLP. Gassa, what trouble is this? Let's continue.
And rightly so, because who can dispute a vision where everyone can now have an opportunity to find work, where our young people don't have to run overseas, where they can stay in Dominica, develop their talent, develop their skills, find good paying jobs.
Well, it wouldn't come now, not Thomson. Like I indicated before, even if you guys were to come there, it's going to take at least 2 years before you guys can at least have some sort of semblance of settling so that things can start making some sort of motion. You guys need to be there for the next 10, 15 years before anything we can say, okay, we reach back to where we used to be and now we're elevating. At least 10 to 15 years you guys have to stay there with Thomson. You know that? That's why I always tell the youth to leave. So when the youth leave, they can then contribute back to the country and that will also help the elevation make it much faster. Because 10 to 15 years, can you imagine you have 5 years. 10 years later, you are 15. 5 years later, you are 20. Can you imagine in Dominica trying to make it in this amount of time? 15, 20, till you're 20? For it to start having some sort of elevation. Some people 10, 15, some people 18 years. By the time the semblance actually comes in, it's going to be taking like what? These people will be in their 30s. That's why I tell people to leave. Leave so that when you leave and you make yourself, it'll be much faster than you starting on zero at the age of 30. It's better you leave at 18, 25, 30 instead of having to wait till you're 45 for you to finally have some semblance of actually doing something to make something happen for you and your family, if you have a family by that time. Interesting stuff.
They drive around in the car that they want, have the homes that they build themselves. Who can dispute this? And I believe at the end of the day, that vision that we have for the people of Dominica will filter through. And that's the reason why I said all 21. But I firmly believe that given the chance and given the rigorous activities that we are about to undertake in bringing this message and vision to the people of Dominica, that we will stand a chance of winning all 21 constituencies. And if in case we fall short, we will still form the government so that we can ensure that that vision goes forward. With regards to the party, yes, we had 2 individuals because we had 2 resignations previously. The public relations officer who resigned previously, and now she's been replaced by Soso Glenroy Coffey, who is our new acting PRO until our delegates conference, as well as we have our new deputy leader, Honorable Hector Scott John, who has replaced Mr. Delbert Paris. So the party, we are moving forward, we are moving ahead.
Dr. Fontaine, will a UWP government embrace the NEP? And if so, how do you finance the NEP? When you say that the citizenship by investment program will not be going on for too long here, because that is normally what is used on the NEP.
Curtis, well, it's a question.
The other question has to do
This is the journalists this is journalists that are there with the brothers and sisters. These are the journalists that are there asking ridiculous questions. The man just give the whole pillar about agriculture, bringing in monies and those kind of things there to then do things. He also indicated that he's going to flip NEP into a skill-based thing. And you asking, you didn't listen, because you didn't listen to the 10 points he did a while ago.
the court case that the UWP launched in the court against the citizenship by investment program. Can you bring us up to date as to what is the latest on this court matter that you all launched against the
All right, thanks for these questions, Curtis. Let me start with the question on the NEP, whether we intend to embrace the National Employment Program. Yes, the answer to that is yes. And as I outlined, the idea is to transform the program into skills training program. So in other words, individuals will be given teachable skills in carpentry, in plumbing, computer skills, IT skills, AI technologies. We'll be training them in such a way that they will be equipped with skills that can be transferred to the workplace.
Are you guys understanding or agreeing with what he's saying right there? Is it viable? Does it sound like that is something that is viable? I mean, we're listening here and I know he's interacting with the journalists and this kind of things there. But do you guys, I might see it, but maybe, I don't know, I might be different, I don't know. But do you guys see it for yourself, what he's saying? If you guys, let me know that in the comment box below, as well as 30 of you guys in the building. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Click the thumbs up button for me. 12 likes, guys. Click the thumbs up button for me right there. But let me know your thoughts in that. Let's interact a little bit.
And in terms of financing, it will not just be a burden on the government, because if you have a program where you have individuals who have been turned out to work in those areas, they will be able to boost up the private sector.
Yep.
And mark you, as we expand the private sector, as we expand the economic sectors of agriculture, manufacturing, and so on, we will gain a lot more in terms of the financing of government, because you will understand that before there was CBI, there were other means of financing the government.
Agriculture was one of them. Tourism was also better back in the day. I mean, when Lennox was speaking about the amount of people that used to be in Dominica for stay-over tourism, it has dropped by 12,000, brothers and sisters. It has dropped. And that was when we didn't have night landing. There were more people staying over in Dominica. Maybe that's why they were staying over, because they had night landing. They didn't have night landing. But, well, night leaving, I would have to say. And then, of course, you know, the airlines sometimes. I know I've been in that situation where the flight have been like 9, 10 o'clock at night, man. And you know, it's kind of crazy, but, you know, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Anyways, let's continue.
One of the ways we intend to finance our government programs is to go back to our partners in terms of grant funding. There are different avenues of obtaining grants. If you have good programs that are meant to develop your human resource, you can get programs for that.
That's true.
So I can guarantee you that we will be able to source programs that we can use to improve on that human skill that we have.
As he's saying that there, reminds me of certain programs that actually happen in Dominica under the DLP. But it seems like these grants don't happen anymore. I remember sometimes they used to bring people up cabrits to have programs and all those kind of things. They used to have workshops all over the place. I'm hardly hearing these things now. But apparently it seems like there's no outcome or outcome, not output. There's no outcome of it. And I guess the people that were giving the grants and what have you decided they're not doing this anymore because they were not seeing any outcome. So, yeah, if there's sustainability factor when it comes on to actually putting people in programs and then having the outcomes of it, then I'm sure that more and more people will join in to give grants, because the world has a lot of money to give, you know, guys. The world has a lot of money to give. It's just unfortunate when you have corrupt leaders who are doing things that preventing the very people from elevating because they are somehow aligned with some global thing. The government scared them, admitted that on stage, you know, that they are aligned with some global thing to do things. And it's very clear that one of the globalist agenda is that the people own nothing and they'll be happy. And it's very clear that that is what is happening in Dominica, where they are giving people houses that they cannot own. People have been saying, I want my title so long, or you give him titles so long. Scary them come and say, oh, we'll give you titles, residential titles. But he has indicated in the very videos, I have played these videos already, where Scared will say that it gives them some sort of residential titles, where they will be able to stay there. And then when they pass on, then they will be able to pass on the house to somebody else. Not these people staying in the house to pass on to the family members, you know. That is what the government is doing in Dominica, and it seems like people don't seem to understand this at all. Anyways, let's continue.
So what we want to do...
Loyalty, big up yourself for being here as well. I appreciate you. 33 of you guys in the building, 15 likes. Click the thumbs up button. Click the like button for me, guys. Just click it. Just press it, and it's very easy to do right there. Anyways, guys, let's continue.
With the NEP program is to ensure that the young people get a chance at teachable skills, that they don't spend 10, 15 years in this, but that they're able to graduate out and find secure placement in an expanding private sector and in a government service that can take them in. So that is how we plan to do this. And we believe that this is workable so that we'll have no need to depend solely on the $78 million that is now being taken out of CBI to fund the program. Because I will also add very quickly that if this CBI program ends, that would also mean the end of the NEP, because it has been funded directly from the CBI program. So we'll certainly change that. But let me assure every worker of the National Employment Program, the NEP, contrary to the propaganda, contrary to what you have heard, we will not end the NEP program.
How many times do they have to say this? How many times do they have to say this? They're not ending the NEP program. They are simply redirecting its focus into something that is more skill-based. So that when you leave it, you will actually leave with a skill to even do something in other companies to actually help these companies. I think that is the preset of what the NEP was about. Giving people these skill sets, training them, and then putting them to work in organizations. But apparently that's not what is being done right there. This NEP program is simply here to curtail unemployment rate. To curtail it. Brothers and sisters, you have to ask yourself, what is the unemployment rate in Dominica? Ask yourself that question, and then go and Google it and tell me what you find.
But instead, we will transform it to make it better, to equip you with better skills to help develop Dominica. And I hope that is clear. So all those who have been spreading propaganda that we're going to take out food from the mouths of our young people, that is absolutely not true.
And it's important to listen to both sides. This is why when I was in Dublin, I knew everything these people were going to, because I don't listen to them too. The only thing I don't listen to is Parliament, because it's instead of nonsense, they're talking. I mean, the opposition tends to have more sense than these people, the government side. But, I listen to both sides, so I can know. I heard one person actually met me and said they're listening to me to see what the enemy is thinking. What? I say, I'm not representing United Workers Party. I am telling the truth based of objective reality. Everything that I say is not who say what, is what I see for myself. What I understand. We have our perceptions of realities, Perspective too. Man tell me they watching my videos to know what the opposition thinking. They're mad crazy, boy. I see your comment there. Jane Warrington. I so pray that you all from the next government of Dominica so I can take the early retirement and come home. Yeah, you're not the only person that has said this, A number of persons are wanting the government to be replaced with the United Workers Party government, so they can finally have some level, because they know if the present one remains, they're not coming home. A lot of them want to come home, but they're not coming home. One of the things I always tell people who want to come to Dominica, I ask them, well, do you have good health insurance? Can your insurance fly you out? Because one of the things that is not working in Dominica, especially if you say you want to retire, most likely is the elderly folks, older folks, elderly folks that want to retire to come back to Dominica. But if your health not the best and you come in Dominica, you're in problem, You're in problem, Gasa. Boy, let's continue. Okay. So yes, I definitely understand that right there. You want to come home. Hopefully, they actually do things. Not just them coming in, but actually them doing things to ensure that the stage is set so that the people can actually come home and also contribute right there. This is one of the things that I strongly believe. This is why I always tell people to leave.
We are in the business.
They go up there and they make the monies and what have you, and they come down Dominica. That's how I think it should be. Of
creating wealth. We're in the business of encouraging prosperity, not mendicancy and not poverty. On the second question with regards to the CBI case, we were back in court this week, and the case has been moved forward to September 30th.
Okay. I was actually looking forward to that question right there. September 30th. So it moved. I think it was supposed to be in May or something like that. I can't remember. Or it was moved to June. I don't know. But it's now September 30th.
Without any arguments being heard, there were some motions that has to come from both our side and also the side of the government, and that will be submitted to the judge, and we are back in court on the 30th of September to hear those motions.
Are you still confident going forward with this matter taken to court?
Oh yes, absolutely. Because bear in mind, what we are asking for is something that is in the Constitution. The Constitution clearly states that any monies that are generated by the government must come from the consolidated fund. So all we are asking the court to do is to compel the government to follow the Constitution. So we think that's an easy thing. You know, we're not asking for anything outlandish, just to follow the Constitution. The second thing that we're asking the court to do is to tell the people of Dominica what is in the contract with MEC. And again,
MMCE.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Why shouldn't we not know these things? Why shouldn't we not know about the MOU? What is in the MOU? I mean, what kind of government says it's transparent and then the things that it's supposed to be transparent about is not doing so, while indicating to people that we are transparent? It's just like they're saying that we have the most robust due diligence program when it comes down to the CBI program. And a set of criminals, literally, not figuratively, you know, literally a set of criminals have obtained not just Dominica passports, but Dominica diplomatic passports. We had criminals as our ambassadors. We had criminals as our ambassadors because they didn't want the normal passports. They wanted the diplomatic passports. Scary them gave them the diplomatic passports. Criminals! He was even hiding one known as Ali Reza Monfared. Lie? It's a lie? Oh, okay, all right. Hiding him and they catch him in Dominican Republic because they try to fly him out and they catch him over there. I see all you make a comment. What is that? Jerry Nelson saying, Mr. Leaks, that person should know we are all Dominicans. We are no enemies. Which person are you talking about? Loyalty is saying, well, it's always good to listen to both sides, and even if it's parliament or not. Well, I try my best to listen to parliament from time to time. I'm not going to lie. And I just think it's a waste of time. When the opposition speaks, you can tell, okay, they have studied, they have done their homework. On the other side, these people are just talking and sometimes just talking irrevocable foolishness from time to time, brothers and sisters. It's like they don't know reality. People can actually see reality for what it is. They will say things as if we are blind, and you know, like in the land of the blind, the one man eye is king. They believe that everybody's blind and they have both eyes. That is how it sounds when it comes on to parliament. Right there.
Yeah, man. MMC, my apologies. MMC is in the process of utilizing millions and millions of revenue dollars from the sale of our passports. So it is only fair that the people of Dominica know what is contained in those contracts. So we are very confident that what is being asked, A, for the monies to be transferred from our funds, and also for the contracts of MMC to be made public, we believe that we will find favor in the courts.
I mean, obviously, it will be very much, it's a win already. It's no given. This is why the government, scary them, tried to prevent it from going forward. They literally tried to prevent it from going forward. They wanted the matter to be thrown out. Bruh. A government that claims it's transparent is trying to hide information from the people that it has been hiding. Strange times.
Because that, after all, is in the best interest of the Dominican public.
Yep.
So we are doing this again, not because we want to stop the program, because bear in mind it was re-engineered under United Workers' Party in 1995. So it's not a question of stopping the program.
Oh, so the CBI actually started in 1995. Okay.
It's a question of...
So that's another one. Just like World Creole Music Festival, the height of Dominica Festival is the World Creole Music Festival that was created by none other than the United Workers' Party. Interesting. And I think the Jazz and Creole was created under the Dominican Labour Party, but as every year you can hear, as the people speak, they're saying it's boring, they say less people, It's like there's not much promotion happening. All those kind of things there is being stated every year because you can tell. And I do interviews for a reason. Back in the day when I started doing interviews in jazz and Creole, people were very much excited. Oh, there's a lot of people, so forth and so forth. The last time I did it, I had to edit so it doesn't look so bad on it. But a number of persons who indicated to me that they expected better, they expected more. Even though they enjoyed Signal Band, the individuals who they enjoyed Signal Band and some of the local artists, no doubt about it. But the people were saying, man, they wanted more because they feel like it has been dwindling over the years. So,
accountability is a question of transparency, but more importantly, it's a question of ensuring that the monies that is generated goes towards the development of our country.
Facts. Scary keeps saying that there's monies overseas that is for development. And I'm trying to figure out, why do you have monies overseas for Dominica's development? Why don't you have the monies in Dominica for Dominica's development? Why should it be overseas to then come to Dominica for Dominica's development? Make that make sense for me, please, somebody, because I cannot understand it. They're saying they have monies overseas. They finally admit that they have monies overseas. It's not to say they don't have. They know that they have monies overseas. Security is telling the Dominican people all monies that are supposed to come to Dominica has come to Dominica, and the money that is overseas is for development of Dominica. But it's overseas. It's not in Dominica's consolidated fund, you know. It is in somebody else's fund overseas that is supposed to somehow be for Dominica's development. I mean, how foolish you have to be to believe that? Huh? How foolish you have to be to believe such a foolish thing. It's like me saying I have monies to fix my house. I have monies to fix my house, and I have my monies in NBD. I can access my money. I know how much money is there. But no, I have my money in Guatemala. My money is in Guatemala. I don't know how much money is there, but that money somehow is to fix my house. That making sense? Yo.
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Yes.
Support to the
NEP. The NEP started somewhere in 2013 when the United Workers' Party proposed creating 5,000 jobs for young Dominicans, and the government went that way.
With 2013? Oh, NEP. Oh, yeah.
But Dr. Fontaine make a very important point about skills training. We have eliminated the JSP and other skills training areas. On several occasions in Parliament, I made recommendations to utilize the Nehemiah Comprehensive Secondary School building as a youth skills training center for young people, empowering young people in culinary arts and everything.
Yep.
So the United Workers' Party will look towards doing that. But if you create employment, self-employed, private sector, public sector, you're going to reduce the amount of people on NEP. NEP is like a lifeline. No, if you're on NEP for the past 13 to now is what? 12 years. Right. You can take a
literally, there are people who are part of NEP for 12 years. I can tell you how much money they make. I can tell you how much money they make for 12 years.
Alone. You cannot build. I started working DBMC.
Dominica Banana DBMC Marketing Corporation. That's it now?
And in 11 years, I bought my land and started building. That's right. But the young people now, 12 years, getting $600 or $800, and they can't do anything. So if...
$800, boy. You're making $800. Kasa? What? A month? Or fortnight? That'd have to be a fortnight. You cannot be making $800 a month and still voting for the people that making you make $800 a month. I'm sure in the heads of these people who making $800, they say, well, it could be worse. I could be making nothing. But then I realize in the understanding that it could be worse, it could be far better in an economy that is doing well. It's a heck of a thing to destroy culture, brothers and sisters, because a culture of breadcrumbs has been created. Oh, it happened in other places, it's going to be worse. They always thinking of the worst, they're not thinking of it better, you know. It could be worse.
We focus on empowering young people, training them in skills. They open the small businesses. Looking at the canning industry, bringing back the banana industry to a certain level because the boat is still going to England every fortnight. Loading from St. Lucia. Loading from...
So we think it did not happening. The boat going from every fortnight, every 2 weeks, it go in England. England always have bananas. St. Lucia, that has the market. St. Lucia have the market, brothers and sisters. St. Lucia was also affected by Black Sikatoka, you know. It was also affected by it. How comes Dominica, for some reason, doesn't seem to want to go back into that? Unless they want the people to be reliant on them, so they're not finding the markets for the people. And as a result of that, keeping the people consistently down. How is that? Bruh. Dominicans, Ila.
Dominican Republic.
That's right.
The sea is still there, Mr. Charleston. With Deco is still ours.
Yeah.
So we can open avenues. And Jamaica, I must say, was selling bananas to the UK as well. But Jamaica has moved into finished products, utilizing the same boat. So if you're looking at the can industry and other industries, we can utilize the boat to empower our people.
So these things are there, available for us to utilize, and they're not being utilized. This is why it's important for us to hear the other side. Because for the very first time, I didn't know all these things were still available to Dominicans, to Dominica. Today is the first time I find out that what was happening back there can still happen today. It's just that the government is saying, if not CBI, what else? And people just swallow that like nothing else can happen. Look what he's saying there. If St. Lucia, and it's not a lie, you know, because St. Lucia sells the bananas, yes, to England.
There are other ways to empower the young people, moving them from the NEP, as you say, Mr. Fontaine said, Dr. Fontaine said. We're not destroying the NEP, but we're utilizing it to empower. See the amount of young people who came from overseas, who finished college with their degrees in Dominica.
And they go in NEP. I know people who left with degrees, brothers and sisters, to come down Dominica so they can work NEP, because that's the only thing they could actually do at present time. All of them have left Dominica. Well, no, one of them is still here. One of them is still here. I think that individual went back to the job that they used to do back in the day. So you left to go school, to come back in the same job that you left. Bruh.
Dominica State College. And they're by the road raking grass. A lot of our young women. So we're looking at empowering them, giving them that level of prosperity, shared prosperity, Dr. Fontaine, to move forward. And that was my small contribution.
I need to have a podcast with you, sir. Sir, I need to have a podcast with you right there so we can talk about these things. We can talk, we can chat, we can chit a little. All right. By the way, there's 42 of you guys in the building. 42 of you guys in the building. 18 likes. Can you guys click the thumbs up button for me? Also, guys, if you definitely want to leave a contribution of sorts, you can leave a super sticker. Of course, that will, of course, help promote and push what we tend to do here on this here channel. Mango is in the building. Finally, bring back the creative unions. Self-sustainability. I think self-sustainability is what Dominica is in itself. It's just that the system has been created to then create a dependency state. Because keep in mind, Dominica doesn't need to work for food, you know, brothers and sisters. There's food everywhere in Dominica. Although right now we need to focus on our citrus fruits, because apparently the citrus fruits are dying out in Dominica, the nature isle of the Caribbean. Citrus fruits is dying out. Citrus. Matt.
It appears, or it is the fact that politics.
Next time, I believe the individuals need to have a microphone, or they need to be a microphone that's set in the middle, like they did in the United States, where people come up to the microphone, or they pass the microphone around, and then people can speak and they can hear it on the speaker.
Has become very transactional. So,
But I think that is not the responsibility of them, or is it? Because they know they have questions and answers. So, well, anyways.
you need to give something to get something. You have a carrot dangling in front of you, so a lot of people will take the carrot because that's what they're going for. How do you, with the large that the Labour Party has, how do you plan to combat that kind of policy?
All right. So that's an excellent question.
Yep.
It's something that we have discussed, that we have been trying to find out the best way to do it. Because as you said, it's very tempting. It's very tempting. Someone has nothing. He said, I'll give you $500, vote for me. And in that moment, they can easily forget, accept the 500, put the vote in, and then they're back to where they were.
Because there's a culture created. So that's a very, very, very great question right there. I think Matt is the only proper journalist that is there, not asking questions on things that have already been answered. So kudos to you, Matt, in that regard right there.
I think the challenge for us is to be able to go to these individuals with a compelling message that when we are in office, our efforts will be focused at giving them the ability to fish. In other words, we're empowering them to find the work that they need, to find the opportunities that they desire. And in so doing, they don't have to have a one-time payout. Okay? They don't have to receive a fish around election day.
Makes sense. Teach a fish, teach a man to fish, and he will feed him for a lifetime. Give him a fish, he'll constantly beg. What is happening right now, they're constantly giving people fish instead of teaching them how to fish. However, I slightly disagree with Fontaine, Dr. Thomson Fontaine on that. And that is my own opinion on this, because I keep using the burning house analogy. If you are in a house that is burning, the burning signifies signifies the economy. The economy is going down the drain. You are in a house, people have to come and tell you that you're in a burning house, you need to get out. Huh? People have to come and tell you are in a burning house to come out from the burning house. I just never understood that right there. I think sometimes some people are just helpless. Probably needing more fire for them to realize. Until the fire touched their skin for them to realize, hey, let me come out from that building. But for some reason, I just cannot understand. Why would you need to go and tell people who are in an economy struggling that they need to change the government? And I understand the psychological part of it, guys. Don't get me wrong. I understand the psychological part of it. Well, I'm getting breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs is better than nothing. So because I'm getting my breadcrumbs, I will constantly vote for my breadcrumbs because I'm still getting my breadcrumbs. Why should I leave what I have for what I not yet see? Not true? That is the sentiment. But the problem is that the economy is not good. You are getting breadcrumbs. You know these things. Somebody is coming to give you the availability of, hey, we can actually set up things so you can actually have bread. And then with the potential of you making your own bread. And then the potential of actually having the factories to make your bread. And then the possibility factor of you having several factories to make the bread. But no. You want to get the free breadcrumbs. So you keep selling your soul. You keep selling yourself short for breadcrumbs. My God. That. I don't know. You guys can help me out in understanding that. And it's another thing where people are talking and there's a problem and you're not saying, boy, let me go and listen to what the other side is saying. People have studied this to me, brothers and sisters. People tell me, Mr. X, if it wasn't for your videos, I would not know nothing. I would still be supporting these people, Mr. Lakes. But you have opened my eyes. I've met people in Portsmouth, my God. I get in shiver, I get goosebumps right now saying that, brothers and sisters. People you would never expect. Saying, but Miss Licks, I watching your videos and you open my eyes to a number of things. You have some fellas in Portsmouth that tell you, boy, they tagging me and it's like, you know, boy, thank you so much. I tell you, that the partner with his rugged and holding me like that, but I say, boy, I respect you, boy. I respect you. But it seems like the only way they found out is because my video pop up on this stuff and they knew me somewhere and they watching my videos and that's how they get to know. But if you actively understanding that there are certain things that is wrong in the community and you want to find better and there's solutions or there are options elsewhere, listen to what the other side is saying now. Because the only reason why these folks, they knew what their leaders were saying, you know, their DLP people were saying. They never had the alternative until my videos popped up on their feed. And started listening and saying, but what Mr. Lick saying makes sense. But if you have to understand certain things, sometimes, brothers and sisters, especially when there's options out there, all you need to do is say, I know what that side is saying. That is the side I support. Okay, certain things I just disagree with. It's not helping us at all. We're not growing. Nothing is happening. It seems like I have to be doing crime for me to elevate myself. Maybe I should try to listen to the other side. But then inadvertently, I think that not everybody thinks like me. So what he's saying makes a little sense too. Sometimes you have to go to the people and tell them, hey, come out from the brain building, bro. That analogy still makes me think, man. Anyways, let's continue.
But so that is the challenge that we have. And that's the reason why, in terms of our messaging, we plan to go to every, like I said, every house, every village, every town, every hamlet, all over Dominica with that message. Because we believe that if we can look the people of Dominica in the eye and explain to them what we're about, explain to them in very simple terms, including in our patois, how we intend to develop this country, we believe that we can sell this message. Okay, we believe we can sell this message, and if they can hang on, if we can hang on to this message, it becomes very easy to vote for a party that will deliver.
But then there's still the culture, though, of the breadcrumbs. There's still the culture of the breadcrumbs. And the reason why I'm saying this, guys, like I indicated before, the reason why I'm saying this is on the merit that the culture still exists. The culture of begging, the culture of, you know, lack of independence, the creation of dependency. I not living what I have or what I not yet see, you know, that kind of stuff right there. What if it gets worse, you know, pessimistic mind frame instead of having an optimistic one? But it also boils back down to the mind frame of the people. That is my problem right there, the mind frame of the people. Because if it's happening at present, they might then say, you know what, boy, let me go back to where I was before because I was getting the breadcrumbs and I have to actually work for the bread. Working for the bread might be a bit more difficult, might take more effort. But is it worth it when I can get the breadcrumbs for free? It's the mindset of the people. This is why I always mention on both sides, because I notice that tribalism is on both sides, both on United Workers' Party side and the Dominican Labour Party side. There's a level of tribalism there, no doubt about it. Because even when I ask in certain people certain questions, they don't know because it's my party. That is the problem that I have with people. My party, not my country first, you know, my party. I want my party to run the country, even though your party might be terrible for the country, but because it's my party. It always boils down to the mindset and the mind frame of the people. But for us to elevate, the mindset has to change. How do you change the mindset? Gasa. You think talking to people is going to change the mindset when they have created an economy that is reliant on them begging? Do you think that will be the key? Do you think that will be the understanding of the people to say, hey, oh, if I leave? Anyways, let me see. Oh, you guys saying some. Jane is saying. Jane Warrington is saying, Illa, 600 to 800 monthly. That money not enough for my truck gas for the month. And that is EC dollars, you know. $800, $801 is 300 US dollars. 301 US dollars, brothers and sisters. Not even my gigs that low. Not even my gigs. 1 gig, brothers and sisters, in a month would probably meet two months of these people's pay. 1 gig will meet about 2 of these people's pay. And that is on the low end. $600 to $800. That is the breadcrumbs right there. That is the breadcrumbs right there. Lurking Luke. First time I see that name right there. I guess you're lurking. Big up yourself one time for being a part of this here vibe. The truth is the system giveth and taketh. Well, that's true. It threatens you. If it gives you something, you have to stay loyal or you might end up losing it. And that, I think, is a huge problem right there. Because as you rightly say, the system giveth and taketh away. When Skerritt was giving people building, he literally wrote that message in the letter, talking about the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Why would you put that? Why would you put that? Lurking Luke is also saying the system never works how any politician tells you fact. It's a bastard. Well, I agree that. But at least you have some level of understanding. Just like he indicated before, and I think that is a good example I can use. Where he stated when they asked him how many seats he's looking to win, or which seats are he looking to win. And he said all 21. He knows he's not going to get all 21 seats. But you have to aim for the very top. And at least you'll get, 16 seats, so you can get 12 seats or something. You aim for the very top. You have to aim for the top. And if you miss the top, then you can get, thing. But you'll have a substance, because where we are is in a negative. So if he's aiming for 10 and he gets to 5, that is better than negative 10, It's better than negative 5. It's better than negative 1. Right now, I think Dominica is negative 50. So if he's aiming for 10, my goodness, we can reach at least, if we get 1, it's good. If we get 5, it's better. So that next time around, you can elevate to then push the envelope. So next time it's not just 10, we're aiming for 20. And if you miss 20, you can get, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It pushes the envelope a little bit better. But in the present regime, they give you pie in the sky promises and tell you these are not pie in the sky promises. And then you literally seen it's pie in the sky promises. When you're asking what is the elevation or the outcome of anything in Dominica, you cannot tell me. What is the output and outcome of Dominica, brothers and sisters? What is it? Labor rights out there who watch my videos, please tell me, what is it? Because I don't know. The only output I'm seeing is the government themselves, the government and its people them enriching themselves. They're building, the Prime Minister is building a bigger mansion than his previous mansions. You understand what I'm saying there? He's building a bigger mansion than the previous 2 mansions that he stayed in. That doesn't, no, bruh.
In a way that they've not seen before. And that is where we believe we can do it.
I'm listening to you, Dr. Fontaine, and talking about going to the hamlets and sending the message. However, the people are saying, you're coming to me, but you're fighting. So if you're fighting, how do you expect me, and you're fighting within yourself, how do you expect me?
That partner, who's that? Kalai, that Kalai again. Kalai boy. Kalai, the man just answer you. the man just answer you. You talk about the strife that happened in all those kind of things. Say yes. He just answer you. You asking the man the same thing in another way. And it's not that different to say another way. You're just asking it in a slightly different way. What do you do that to this? Do you do that to scare it? Because that's one of the things that when I listen into the what do you call that again, the press conference on the DLP side, I don't see none of you guys doing this. The only person I see doing something is Matt. Matt is the only person I see doing, okay, he goes back to a question and he tries to, figure out the answer right there or get the answer. Matt is the only one. Now you asking, let's listen.
The question is, what do you intend to do within the ranks and file of the party
Boy.
to prevent internal rumblings going out publicly to the detriment of the party? That is one question. My next question to you again is that you spoke about being on 20.
Carly, if you was in the international community, you would never make it as a journalist. I telling you. But because there's not much journalism in Dominica, I telling you, Carly. I mean, you're relatively good at reporting stuff, but not as a journalist. Not a journalist at all. And that self is debatable because I remember sometimes when me and you were part of the Choxy situation, and I'm like, some of the things you were saying were not necessarily what they stated. I don't know if you misunderstood or maybe I misunderstood, but it wasn't the same at all. And I was part of the Indian Times, so I had to get the corresponding as is. So I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe, I don't know. I guess everybody have their own way of doing things. Is that the case now? But anyways.
Constituencies. But I'm looking at the various strongholds of Dominican Labour Party and the possible strongholds of the United Workers' Party. And I'm watching what is happening, and from what I'm seeing, I'm only seeing possibly two strongholds of the UWP. So, how is it possible that you, as a leader of the party, are you going to gain 21 seats in the next general election?
There are 21 seats, but Kalai, you also remember the 2014 elections, right? You remember in 2014, the United Workers' Party reversed over 1,000 votes in a stronghold of the Dominican Labour Party, right there, just down the road there from us. So it's possible, right? It has been done. We're not talking about something, a pie in the sky somewhere. No. We have demonstrated that with the dedicated effort on the ground, you can sway the votes.
But like I indicated before, the government is always looking to bring in people to vote. That would be the question I would have asked. How are you going to rectify them bringing in people to vote? Yes, you go on the ground, and I strongly believe that people in Dominica want change, but it seems like the strategy of the DLP that they tend to use is that they bring in people from outside to come and vote. How are you going to convince these people who are not participating in the hardship in Dominica? They are participating in good economies. How are you going to get these people to not tilt the scale when they come to Dominica? I think that would be a better question than one Kalai is asking.
No one in Dominica ever thought that the United Workers' Party would be able to win Roseau South in 2014. Yet over 1,000 voters who had voted the Labour Party voted for the United Workers' Party.
Joshua Francis.
And Joshua Francis, yes.
But what happened after?
But that besides the point. I am telling you that it is possible. Okay, so we believe, and especially where the country is now. After all, the country, our people are on their knees. Our country is going nowhere. Agriculture is destroyed. Fishing is destroyed. People can hardly make ends meet.
That is the burning building I'm talking about. How do you have to convince people in a burning building? This is why Skerrit knows that he doesn't need to convince anybody in Dominica anymore because he can go for overseas voters to tilt the scale. That is the big issue right there. So when I'm having a podcast with him again, I will definitely ask him those questions.
In that atmosphere of hopelessness, we believe that by offering a vision that people can hang on to, we can make that difference, and it is quite possible. And for those of us, remember we said we're going out in faith. For those of us who believe all things are indeed possible.
Indeed.
Infighting.
I see Jerry Nelson. Kalai Rosewood North is a UWP stronghold. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's a Rosewood stronghold. They just did not contest the last election. But apparently Kalai doesn't seem to know this. Or you maybe forget.
Yes, that's a
Somebody asking, where you get that from?
good question. You know,
I tell you, Kalai need help, boys.
things are indeed possible. Infighting. Yes, that's a good question. You know, Carl, I will tell you.
Kalai doesn't realize that it's not the members that are fighting. It's the supporters that are fighting for the people to be there. It's not the members that are fighting. There might be a disagreements amongst the members, no doubt about it. But Thomson himself said we welcome that. We don't want everybody to be a yes man, yes man, yes man. We are he steady did this thing and you're still asking in fighting, boy.
About a month ago, the leadership and the executive of the United Workers' Party, we had a retreat. And that retreat was one of self-inflection, a retreat where we agreed that, after all, we're in this not for our own making of our own reasons, but we are there because we believe that the United Workers' Party is the best alternative government for this country. And in that context, we agreed that let us minimize our egos. Let us set aside our differences. Let us ask each other's forgiveness, which is what we did. So I'm of the firm belief that based on what happened a month ago, we are continuing to build. It does not mean that we're not have squabbles. If tonight you're going past a house and you're, husband and wife arguing, you don't think that they're going to divorce the next day, right? It's just that sometimes you have your arguments and so on. The important thing is that we believe that we are in a place right now where those struggles, those challenges are behind us. As I said earlier, that's a thing of the past. Our focus now is on what we can do for the people of Dominica.
That's what it should always be.
And we have the skills, we have the people, and we have the desire to do it, and we will.
When you say something of the past, but you had a meeting this week. You had a meeting this week.
Yes.
And the vibes was not positive. The former Prime Minister was going one way.
But again,
you are aware that the former Prime Minister was going one way.
No, not one way. I am aware that the former Prime Minister was giving his honest opinion of what he felt, and that is what mature grown-ups do.
Facts.
When we meet together, we talk and we discuss. Yeah. That's it.
Carl, I want to make it seem as if we're supposed to be on what clouds and those kind of things there. They literally stated that everybody has their own opinions and things and they can voice it. They're not staying quiet like DLP. Some of the people in DLP, the government side, don't like the government, They do not like Skerrit. But because they get in their monies, they're staying quiet. Some of them have even told me, Mr. Licks, if the people don't want to rise up and say anything, you think I can put myself down and say this and that, this and that? No, I don't stay in nothing. I'm making my own money. I have talks with these people, Some of them you see them on stage, dope. But they wouldn't say nothing because they're getting their monies. Some of these people who want to join the United Workers' Party, as I think of, why is his name, Joseph Isaac? He was probably looking for money, and maybe because his team did not win, he did not win his seat or whatever it is. He checking, but let me just join the other side so I can make a money. Some people looking to make a money. They see this thing as a money thing, not a people thing. This is why I always indicated, brothers and sisters, I believe that the ministers of government should be getting the same as people making minimum wage. They should be making the same as people making minimum wage because they set this standard. So that they will feel the same thing. The people already taking care of them. Make them get the same salaries of people making minimum wage. And when you pass on, then you can constantly be making that money. Minimum wage money because you're running government. You'll have to go and find work for you to do. But if you're making minimum wage $800, you get the rest for the rest of your life. Because you're part of government, then that would make sense. But now these people making $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. And they're not doing nothing for the community at all. This is why I tell you, it's not about self, man. It's about the people. Let me see what people are saying. Hendrix Ishmael is in the building. Kalai was trained as a journalist under the British, and he learned to divide poor people and keep them bottom feeders for life. You should worry about MMC taking his money to Dubai building hotel. Well, I don't know where he learned journalism, but if he was trained to be a journalist, that's a very poor representation. Very, very poor representation right there. Because I expected better from Kalai. Especially when it comes down to the answering questions. And I understand you probing. You probing. No, that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. But the unfair thing is you're probing one side, but you don't want to probe the other side. Because you are fearful maybe of losing your position there. I don't understand. I don't understand it at all.
But somehow to think that is a derailment of our spirit and of our desire is false. No, that's not going to segue us. We are stronger for it, Kalai. I told you about going through the fire. Iron can withstand.
He didn't hear that. He didn't hear that at all.
Centuries, because it goes through the fire. And we've gone through the fire and we will stand for centuries. Yes. No doubt about it. Okay? So thank you very much. We appreciate your questions. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, that was very good, man. I enjoyed that one, no doubt about it. I enjoyed that one. Kudos to Kalai for bringing a little, not warranted, but a little ruffling, a little. Kalai, I want to see you do that to the Prime Minister as well. I would love to see you do that to the Prime Minister. Make certain claims. Hey, what about the economy? You said this, but we've seen the economy going down. What are your thoughts on this? This is what I want to see you doing right there, Kalai. But more on important questions. Right there. Anyways, kudos to Kalai for the questions. Apparently he didn't listen, but kudos to Kalai right there. Let me see. Ernst Philip, big up yourself. Good evening to you. Ernst Philip say, yes, people, hit that like button. Yes, guys, click the thumbs up button right there. There's 50 of you guys in the building. We haven't even hit the half of the likes for the 50 guys. Come on, then. Let's bring that up right there. Bring that up, guys. Bring that up. Click the thumbs up button for your boy right there. Let me just see what they have to say in that regard.
We are winding down this proceeding.
Big up Glenroy Susu Coffee. You see Glenroy there? Glenroy not toys, Glenroy not toys. I challenge him. I know he not toys.
And you notice that this is a party of resilience. After 24 years, one would have expected us to have been out of what? Out of action. We are in action. We are even more fortified.
Yeah, they are the leading opposition of Dominica. Freedom still trying to get back somewhere. The others, I don't know what they're doing. UWP is literally the leading opposition of Dominica right there. So, that says a lot, don't it?
We are even more united. We have shown resilience and will continue to show resilience.
Well, I don't know about the more united part. So I don't know about the more united part. There's still some little squabbles here and there. But I'm guessing you're talking about united in its effort towards bettering Dominica. Then if that is the case, sure. Because there are still some, ups and downs from different people
And I know Kala asked 3 questions. I could have been asking 1 question.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. He asking the same question.
Yeah. But you wanted his answer. But thanks, Kala.
Thank you, Kalai.
But let me just say, as we wind down, I just would like to call on our General Secretary to give the vote of thanks.
Mr. Piero.
Okay, guys, let's just stop there. All right, guys. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the vibrations right there. I know I kind of started early. I would normally start around 8 o'clock since I'm doing these ones right there. But thank you guys for definitely tuning in to this here vibe, man. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in. All those who've given the likes, I appreciate you. Clicking the thumbs up button. But of course, I'm going to end it right there. Like I indicated a bit earlier on, guys, you can definitely, if you want to do so, leave a super chat to support the channel of any amount. It's fine. But I would appreciate you guys also just clicking the thumbs up button and inadvertently also sharing the video as well. If you've not done so yet, guys, subscribe and turn on that post notification. Sometimes you might be wondering why I'm taking out this headphone, because when I'm hearing myself, it's kind of like an echo, so it confuses me sometimes. So I end up, so that's why I end up taking this out, and then I'm able to speak a bit clearly, for myself, that is. But yes, guys, definitely, if you've not done so, subscribe and turn on that post notifications. And of course, you can definitely go back and listen to the full video right there. Hendrix is saying, oh, Jerry Nelson is saying, lol, Kalai kiss have me. Kalai is a special kiss, man, trust me. Hendrix Ishmael, Susu is a brilliant, Susu brilliant, man. I think Susu should run for Prime Minister. But sometimes, I think Susu can become a good leader, no doubt about it. But I think the pressure of the other side might probably break him, I'm guessing. Not break him to say, thing. He might, I'm not saying buckle, but I think there are stronger people who can handle that kind of pressure. So to me, is delicate. He knows himself. He doesn't want to be in any sort of thing with people. He wants to do his work, and he wants to get his work done. When they contact me to bring in a number of the people from overseas sending down stuff to help Dominicans, Susu was there to also want to interact with him, and he was one of the individuals who voluntarily came for stuff to help people out there. So it's not just me saying anything about Susu and having a discussion with him, but the individual himself is very strong when it comes down to doing things that he needs to do right there. Anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this here vibe. I think I'll be doing a podcast. I'm not sure if it'll come out on Sunday though, guys. We'll see how that goes right there. There's 2 individuals who are, well, two and a half. I need to get that third one too. So we can get that happening right there. And I can bring you guys another podcast on this here BRBPTV. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next reaction video, guys. Also, let me post the video for those who haven't seen the one for today on the Miss Licks Reacts. Let me just post that before I leave, guys, and I'll post it in the live chat right there. I'll pin it. Let me pin it. Oh no, how do you pin again? Okay, pin this message. Yes, guys, so you guys can definitely check out the latest the latest reaction video on Miss Licks Reacts channel right there, guys. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Remember, guys, be real, be positive.